This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome to the show. You know, getting promoted is exciting. It can be very exciting for an employee, but it can also come with a surprising realization. Being really good at your job doesn't necessarily prepare you for leading other people. And suddenly you may be supervising people who were your peers just a few weeks ago, and you have to delegate instead of doing everything yourself, handle difficult conversations, earn buy-in, and somehow manage your own workload while being responsible for everyone else's. Well, my guest today, Dr. Laura Shero, has seen those challenges firsthand through her work with organizations ranging from companies in the DFW Metroplex to Fortune 500 businesses. And this fall, she and her husband, Dr. Philip Shero, are bringing that experience to Waco in a new 6-part session. It's an in-person course designed specifically for newly promoted managers. And this all starts on September 18th, goes through December, and includes 90 days of follow-up support, which is awesome. Now, your cutoff, though, for signing up for this is coming up. It'll be the 8th of September.
Yes, it is.
So we want to get this information out to folks if they can think of someone who could benefit from this. And Laura, this is a kind of a small, you're not looking for a cast of thousands or anything.
No, we're looking for, going to cap it around 20 people.
Okay.
And there will be 2 facilitators, as you said. My husband, Dr. Philip Shero, and I will both be facilitating. So there's going to be, some really good interaction. This is not going to be come and have somebody lecture at you. It's going to be let's talk about these new challenges that you have presented, and let's workshop some ways that we can create tools and strategies for helping people who are in a new role to really do it well.
Well, and that's the goal. Nobody wants to start a job and think, I'm going to be a failure here.
Yes.
You go wanting to really succeed in what you're doing. But so who exactly is it created for? Somebody who's great at what they do. They get rewarded for being great. They get a promotion. And then suddenly they find, managing people, what?
It's a completely different skill. And we
Sure.
see this across industries. So it's not limited to one industry or one type of job, but across the board, whether it's in construction or whether it's in accounting, all types of jobs, somebody's really good at, for example, let's just take accounting. Somebody's really good at, taking care of their clients,
Mm-hmm.
doing the things, and they are highly successful. And so their boss says, hey, you're really great at this. Let's put you in charge of a team. Leading people is completely different from running numbers and calculating a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And so suddenly, instead of just being an individual contributor doing their own thing, they have to, touch base with other people. They have to solve people problems. They have to delegate work instead of just doing it themselves. And these are completely different skills from what they went to school or what they were trained to do. And what we see again across the board is that there's not necessarily training for how do you step from being just doing my own job, the individual contributor, into now I'm responsible for others and leading a team. It's a real challenge.
What's the biggest surprise for someone who finds himself in that role?
So
Personalities or I don't know.
It probably depends on the person and their skill set. One of the things that is really like a fear for them, often we see this, is they step into it and they say, I was great at what I did and now this is an unknown. And so there can be a real fear of failure. Mm-hmm. They were great at what they did before, and so there could be a tendency to kind of try, and they were comfortable. Right. And now it's like, this is new. Yeah. And if I don't succeed here, there's no going back to where I was before. I mean, maybe if I don't do well, I could lose my job.
I'd have to find something else.
Yeah. And so that's a real fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like you said, managing different people. And that's one of the sessions we talk about. Like, hey, I can communicate with some of my followers really well. Like we just vibe. I can communicate easily. They seem to understand. When I communicate, it just lands. And with other people, it's like I just make the hair on the back of their neck
What am I
rise
speaking
up.
Chinese or what?
Exactly. And so kind of giving some tools for interpreting those differences and saying, hey, this kind of speaking style might work here, but here's some tools for working with styles that are different from yours. So we spend a session on that, of just how do you work with different people?
Those tests we used to take, I forget what all the what the
I know
numbers or colors
right.
or whatever you were.
Yes.
But no, people do it. Their personalities that are innate. I mean, they do affect how they relate with people, and
some of us are naturally some of us are naturally good at communicating with other people, and for some of us it's a challenge. Again, we're kind of used to keeping our heads down and doing our own work, and that's a skill. But when we have to get up and we have to communicate with other people, another session we have is just about how do you have a meeting, because often they don't know how to lead a meeting. And so it's like, well, we had a meeting and I thought we decided something, and we all walk out of the meeting theoretically knowing that we decided something. And then I start circling back and I'm like, I really thought I was clear. And apparently I didn't say it in a way that landed with other people.
Yeah. Or you send a follow-up email. Now, this is what we decided, right? Or something. I don't know.
And lots of people have different versions of that. But there's a way to get clarity on that by having an agenda ahead of time, by circling back.
Paramount importance.
It is of paramount importance. And it's not tricky, but it's just a skill that you have to know. And you have to save time for saying, okay, what do we decide? And so unless somebody has told you, hey, here's how you make your meeting a success. Here's how you draw out the people who are going to sit in the corner and not volunteer their opinion unless you help them. Like, here's how you facilitate a good meeting that gets everybody's, interaction into the meeting. Everybody is on the same page when we leave, and we have a clear action plan when we follow up.
Yeah. That sounds good. But one of the challenges we've talked about is when you find your peers are, your subordinate, I guess is the right term.
They were your peers. They were your peers yesterday.
You went out for a drink after work or whatever, and I guess that still can happen or
yes,
not.
It's such a challenge because they're the people that you're used to, you complained and groused with them yesterday and now you're their boss today. So how do you go from that without breaking a relationship, without suddenly becoming like standoffish, but now you have to be in an authority position. So how do you do that well with that and keep your identity to stay true to who you are? Over the years, like you said, we've done this in multiple organizations. We've done it in Dallas, Fort Worth, and other places. And, people will come to me and say, I'm nice. I don't want to be mean.
Oh, yeah. And I want everybody to love me.
Yes. Well, but also my boss is telling me that in order to get these people to do what I'm telling them to do, I just have to be mean. And I'm not mean.
That's
I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
And is that the only way to get buy-in and learn how to lead and have authority? And it's not.
No.
It's not. You don't have to be mean to lead, but if you're not taught how, or if you've got somebody speaking into you that's like, well, just be mean, you don't have another model for doing that. And so it's like, how do you strike that balance between, hey, I'm going to be friendly and I'm not going to be mean, but I am going to hold you accountable for the goals our team has to achieve.
We have deadlines to meet. There's some
but it's really tricky. It's really tricky.
Right. And then the culture of the given business.
Yes.
I'm listening to you talk and I'm thinking, shouldn't the business somehow have some sort of way to help groom folks that are moved into those positions?
And some companies
other than just maybe, that's the mean guy over here.
Yeah. Exactly. And some companies are really good at mentoring and leading and training. And some companies want to be really good.
But they don't know how.
Maybe they don't know how, or they just companies that are moving really fast and growing, they just don't have time to do all of that because they're like, hey, I need to bring these people up and I'm running so fast. I don't have time for that. So that company is a really good candidate for what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what kind of mistakes do new managers sometimes make that are maybe trying too hard to establish, I'm the boss?
Yes. So, like we've said, that, they can, lean over into the, I'm just going to be mean and tell everybody what to do. And, I can't be friendly anymore. So that's one of them. You were kind of hinting at it. The other extreme is that sometimes people just want to be chummy. And it's like, well, I was your friend, so you're just going to still do what I tell you to do because we're buddies. And it's hard for them to separate we were friends yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you my problems at home or whatever.
Yes. Which can also be very isolating because when you are moved into a position of leadership, it can feel very lonely because these people were your peers. And so suddenly you're in a leadership position, which is another great thing about the cohort that we're building, because people will be doing this with each other. And we have found that when people are doing leadership training together, they can bounce ideas off each other. So leaders need to find each other because leadership can be really, really lonely.
Right. And that is what's great about the networking that can happen between, and I guess it's a wide range of businesses you've dealt with?
Yes, we've worked with from healthcare and accounting to manufacturing, construction, both GCs and subcontractors. So we've worked kind of across the range of industries.
Yeah. High performers, though, are often just kind of geared to doing it all themselves.
Yes.
And then they become managers and they realize they have to delegate.
Yes.
So how hard is that?
That's another of those traps that they fall into, because when you are a high performer, it can be hard to shift gears into suddenly, I mean, I do have my own tasks, but most of what my job now is to get results through other people. And so the inclination to just jump in and fix something when somebody does it wrong, or to, show instead of, helping bring others up, it's a real temptation. So just when you are a leader, instead of just being the hands-on, you're kind of pulling the reins from back here. And that's, again, a skill that you have to learn of, like, I'm not just getting in there and rolling up my sleeves to do the thing. I'm coaching others. I'm facilitating that in others. And now I'm held accountable, not just for what I do, but for what my team accomplishes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so it's a different measure.
The buck may stop with you if
right.
something goes wrong beneath you. But so how do you teach someone to delegate efficiently while still holding those people accountable?
Yes. So again, it comes back to the kind of these other tools that we've been talking about. How do you communicate? And then, like, how do you have a meeting? And then it's like, okay, how do you explain, here's what you need to do? And then, you give them time to do it. You're having checkpoints with them, not that they feel like, you're micromanaging over their shoulder, and then you circle back when it's done.
That can also be another problem.
Yes.
Is to feel like you're breathing down their neck all the time, and they're like, let me do my job.
Right. And so it's a matter of teaching them how to communicate expectations at the beginning. And sometimes we'll use kind of the example of a rubric. Like, you're going to say, here's the rubric for what needs to happen. Go do your own thing. Go do it. I'm not going to be like managing every step, but when you bring it back to me, here's what it should look like. Right. And so clarifying those expectations ahead of time. And here's the things, you have to do these, and otherwise you're free to do this in your own way. But establishing some checkpoints, or like we call it a rubric, of saying, here's what success is going to look like. And sometimes new managers don't really know how to communicate that ahead of time, so that they get back a finished project and they're like, that wasn't really what I was looking for. Well, how clearly did you communicate that in the beginning? That's part of delegating or handing off with confidence, is that you've communicated what you need, and then you know what success is going to look like in the end.
Well, and it also strikes me that for this person, you're in this new position, you may need to really learn your time management skills better, because it's got to include a lot of meetings with people to get that communication going. They can't read your mind.
Yes.
And sometimes just an email can't really convey what you need
So
to.
that's one of the things we talk about with communication is if the email starts to get long and complicated, it doesn't need to be an email. That needs to be
red flag.
Yes, that needs to be a face-to-face conversation.
Face-to-face, yeah.
And sometimes you need to send the email and then you also need to have a face-to-face conversation. Yeah. So, learning those skills of communicating.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk more with you, Laura, about managing people and time and this wonderful series of, and these sessions are how long?
These sessions are 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. So it's not like all
No,
day,
it's not like they have to be there all day.
Right. But this is starting in mid-September, September 18th.
September 18th is the first one. So it'll be from 2 to 4 on a Friday afternoon. So I know afternoon's a little challenging, but it's a time that they can get off and not that Friday afternoon they can leave.
That's a good plan, I would think.
Badly.
And where will you be holding them?
We are going to be at the Republic Gun Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, at the Republic Gun Club. Yes.
Yeah,
so they're being really generous. They're going to throw in some little freebies for the participants. So, that'll be an added bonus. Besides learning leadership skills, you can take advantage of the gun club. Yes. Perfect your aim.
Yeah, right. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, this is awesome. So much more I want to talk to you about. I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by Westfest. This is their 50th anniversary, one of my favorite Central Texas traditions. And this is a big birthday for them, 50 years. And it's coming up on September 4th through the 6th. So come for the Czech heritage, the music, the dancing, the wonderful food, and all that great West hospitality. So happy 50th Westfest. I hope to see you there. Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
It's the 50th annual Westfest, presented by West Feeds this Labor Day weekend in West Texas. Bring your dancing shoes and experience the power of polka with 13 bands and over 40 hours of polka music all weekend long. Westfest, just 15 minutes north of Waco.
We're celebrating the Declaration of Deals at Allen Samuels in Waco. Right now, get $13,000 off a new Ram 1500 Lone Star, plus 2.9% for 72 months. Cash in on $13,000 off a new Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab, or choose 0% for 36 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Feel secure with America's best full-size truck powertrain 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Allen Samuels.
Come by.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabin, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
hurts sometimes when I think about you. You're so far away, and time is passing by so fast with the debt I have to pay. It's not your fault that I'm not there. You need to know how much I care, and it kills me to watch you grow up in pictures. A box of pictures is all I've got. It's the hardest lesson that I've been taught, and it keeps getting harder every day to watch you grow up in pictures. A perfect man I've never been. Sometimes I slip and fall, and late at night you fill my dreams. Every day I climb the wall. If only I could end this fight and have the chance to make things right, then I wouldn't have to watch you grow up in pictures. A box of pictures is all I've got. It's the hardest lesson that I've been taught, and it keeps getting harder every day to watch you grow up in pictures. I'm dying to hold you, you know I am, and I'll be dancing with angels the day I can. A box of pictures is all I've got. It's the hardest lesson that I've been taught, and it keeps getting harder every day to watch you grow up in pictures. Now watch you grow up in pictures. At an old run-down beer joint outside of Fort Worth, Texas, a dark-eyed, gray-haired businessman in a long black Lexus. He said, "Let's make a deal. I'll make you a real rich man." Then he gave me $1,000 and put a pistol in my hand, and he said, "The woman that I love, she's married to the law. If you can solve my problem, just give me a call." Now it was all real clear to me. I had a big choice to choose. Now I got blood on my cowboy boots. I threw that pistol in the river and headed on home. I can still hear that gunshot, and it chills me to the bone. That judge told me, "Son, tell me nothing but the truth, 'cause you got blood on your cowboy boots." Well, I heard about that bluebird, but it wasn't quite what I thought. Now I'm out here chopping on the ground all day, and the sun is too dang hot. Well, I took that lawman's life away, and now his picture's in my head. I drag around this ball and chain, and I think about what I did. Now I got life to do here, might not ever make it home. The days are never ending, and the nights are way too long. That warden asked me, "Son, what the hell did you do?" I said, "I got blood on my cowboy boots. I threw that pistol in the river and headed on home. I can still hear that gunshot, and and it chills me to the bone. That judge told me, son, tell me nothing but the truth, 'cause you got blood on your cowboy boots. Yeah, you got blood on your cowboy boots. I said you got blood on your cowboy boots.
It's the 50th Annual Westfest, presented by West Feeds. This Labor Day weekend, bring the kids and check out the always popular carnival rides, tons of incredible food, unique arts and crafts, as well as plenty of check dancing. Westfest, just 15 minutes north of Waco.
Summer isn't over yet. Make every last splash count at Waco Surf. Catch perfect waves, float the lazy river, or relax on the beach while the kids make unforgettable memories. Stay in their hotel or private cabins, or hook up with your RV. Located just 90 miles from Dallas and Austin, set on 450 acres in the heart of Texas, Waco Surf is unlike any other water park around. Before school starts, give your family one more epic adventure. WacoSurf.com. Book your stay today and catch a wave.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Providence. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
If I had somebody that was looking for a car, I would definitely recommend Allen Samuels. The trust that I have, the care that they take, they genuinely want to take care of you. They really ask for your feedback when you go to the support department to make sure they're taking care of you in every way possible. So I really appreciate that they listen to your feedback.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Earning an online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Allen Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
And we are back with Dr. Laura Shero. She and her husband, Dr. Philip Shero, are having a wonderful series of sessions, learning sessions, for folks who have been promoted in their job to a management position, maybe where they'd never done that kind of thing before, or maybe they just want to get better at doing what they're doing. I mean, they don't have to necessarily be newbies, do they?
They don't necessarily have to be newbies if they're in a position where they think, I need to level up. I'm in a position that I really wasn't trained for, and I would love to, just learn more about how to do this well. They are also welcome.
Okay, so the name of it, I think we haven't said that yet. It's called Sphere of Influence.
Sphere of Influence,
and
yes.
It is beginning September 18th, continuing through December, and then there'll be 90 days of follow-up support.
Right.
So this is wonderful. Well,
that kind of comes out of, my background is in education.
Yeah, that's
and my degree is in how people learn.
What kind of led you into this kind of work? What is your degree in and all that kind of stuff?
Yes. Well, my PhD is from Baylor, Sick and Bears, and it's in educational psychology. And so it's about how do people learn? What are strategies for learning and learning well? And how do we measure that? Like, how do we know that someone learned it in the workplace? How we know is they can actually apply skills. And so what we do is really practical.
Sure.
But people learn well through repetition, and they also learn well when they can get little pieces over time. So that's part of the reason that we're not doing this as just a one and done, like come on a Saturday, spend all day long, and then you're done, because you need time to learn something and then actually sleep and then actually practice it and then come back again. And so
there's method to your madness.
There's a method, yes. Yeah. And, adults learn differently from children. And so children are really happy to just kind of gather information and say, someday I'm going to be a fireman. But adults want it to be really relevant, and they want to go practice what they have learned immediately. If it's not relevant, I mean, we care a lot less. And so we want something that's very practical. So when they come in, it's not going to just be Philip and me talking. It's going to be like, let's talk about this. Okay, now you guys go practice. If we're talking about giving feedback, if we're talking about how to do a meeting, we're going to say, here's the strategies. Let's do it together in the classroom.
Well, let's talk about those difficult conversations. So new managers may be reluctant to correct someone, particularly if that person is a friend, you know,
so
or,
hard.
or a colleague. And so how do you teach them to handle those conversations well, maybe where the person receiving it and feel like they're being attacked, but that it's constructive criticism, you know?
Yeah. So we actually
but it's
have
still criticism.
It's still criticism. So I actually have a strategy I call 2 hands down, because when somebody comes and says, hey, can I offer you some feedback? We're like, whoa, stop right there. You know, like we're so defensive. Like Philip and we teach this and we're that same way with each other. You know, you have to be like, okay. So what we say is, okay, you got to get both hands down. And so the first hand is you've got to get them to see that there's a problem too. If you don't help, and we coach them through this of helping them see what the impact is. If you don't convince them that there's a problem,
that they need to change,
it's still your problem. So what you want is for them to see that there's a problem. And then the second hand is getting them to commit to some kind of action. So if they don't actually see that there's a problem and they don't agree to do something, all you've done is talk. And so that's our 2 hands down of let's stop the defensiveness and let's help them see the problem and let's get them to commit to action.
Yeah.
So
that's great. So really though, avoiding conflict though can be a pretty quick way for a new manager to lose respect.
Yes.
If other people are saying like, this needs to be addressed and then crickets, nothing's happening.
So we don't teach that you want to avoid conflict.
No.
Actually, we love Patrick Lencioni and the things that he teaches, but he teaches that good leaders actually mind for conflict. If there's no conflict, that means people are too scared to say something. But what you want,
so that's not a good sign either.
Yeah, no conflict is not a good thing because it means people are, you know, they're just sitting on their good ideas. So conflict in itself is not a bad thing, but you need productive conflict. So learning how to say your differing opinions in a healthy, constructive way. And we need lots of opinions. We want there to be conflict because we want so many ideas on the table that we can then, you know, discuss and pick the best one. So it's got to be a safe place. So how do you create a safe place that people can risk saying things? And then how do we constructively talk about those and come out with a win-win solution that helps everyone? It's not that we're fighting each other. It's that we're fighting as a team for a solution that helps everybody win.
Right.
That's a really different mindset, I think. We think about conflict as a competition, and what we want is for everybody to win.
Oh, yeah. Well, right. Yeah. Now, you've been real clear in saying this is not 6 sessions of you and your husband reading a slide deck. You know, so what will the participants actually be doing? You know, in that 2-hour session, can you kind of walk me through?
Yes. So when they come, I mean, we do have a slide deck that will, give
obviously, you need
give
to
some
have that.
Instructions and things.
Give me visuals.
But
always.
yes, absolutely. But, we'll do some teaching and then we'll say, hey, we're going to talk about how to do this feedback. And so we'll have some scenarios that, we've produced them from our real life experience. And of course, no names or anything, but we'll say, let's workshop this. Like, let's assume that you are, the boss that's going to need to give feedback to this person. We're going to practice. And so people will take turns being the coach or being the person, and then we'll have an observer. And so, we'll just run some scenarios and I was in a session just a couple days ago where I was the one who was actually practicing these, and it can be a little awkward to start because, you're being asked to do something you haven't done before, but it's so useful. It's so practical because if you're going to learn to play the piano or you're going to learn to play tennis, like, you don't sit and watch a video about them. You actually try, you actually practice. And so we believe that about leadership skills as well, of like, we'll come in and we'll demonstrate. And then you've got to practice them in the session in order to, master them. And then we send you out with homework. And so then your homework is go do this at home, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. In the meantime, you need to there's obviously going to be a feedback conversation or a conflict or whatever. And so whatever we learned in the session, go do it on the job. And
Right.
when we see you again in 2 weeks, we're gonna debrief.
You may then hear, well, I tried this, and yeah.
And
That's
for
good.
sure it'll fall flat. I mean, like whoever served in tennis perfectly the first time, like it's gonna be
That's
it's
why
gonna
you
be
get 2
awkward.
tries. and a point.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's gonna be awkward, it's gonna be hard. And we always do talk about what didn't work. Because, you can try and you're like, oh, well, I forgot the first step. I forgot to get their buy-in first or whatever. And so it takes some practice to do that. So we'll do it, in a safe setting, like they're in the cohort, and then send them to practice.
So what would a real life management scenario? Can you give me for instance?
A real life management scenario. So, you've been good friends. You get promoted. You've got
They're happy for you.
They're happy for you.
Yeah.
You've got a really busy, weekend or shift or whatever it is coming up, and the friend wants PTO. They've waited till the last minute, and they're like, "Hey, you're going to do this for me, aren't you? Because you're my friend." Yeah. Sorry, I didn't give you enough advance warning, but you're my friend. You can take me off this shift. And you need to hold the line that says, I'm not going to give you, special treatment. Just, I'm not going to gloss over
like,
this.
I can't,
Right. But how do
does that say?
How do you hold that line? Yeah. So there's a real life scenario for you.
Oh, I can see that.
So we'll practice, having that conversation of saying, you are my friend. You are still my friend, but I don't break the rules just for you.
Right. And rules are there for a reason. And that's, all.
Yeah. But
all
that's a
part
really
of it.
tricky scenario. Like the first time you bump into that as a new manager, it's really awkward. That's really awkward.
Yeah. I may be crossed off their birthday party list. Or something.
Right.
I'm that good at. So you've worked with Fortune 500 companies and up in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Mm-hmm.
Are there fundamental challenges of leadership, though, that differ in a huge corporation as to the smaller business?
I mean, there's certainly the bigger a company is, the less the less flexible they are to pivot or to change things. Or if you're in a smaller company and there's several of you that are like, could we change policies or could we do this? You have a bigger voice. So there are definitely,
and you may be closer to the decision maker that can make that.
So I won't
call.
say that they're just all the same, but people are people everywhere. And in the big companies that we've worked with, it's the same story. It's like, the person who's the great salesperson on the floor, then they suddenly get promoted into
their sales manager.
And so, they were great at setting up the display and talking to customers. Now they have to hold the line with their former peers.
Yeah.
And so it's a whole different scenario. But that, that's the same. From company to company, big or small, it's like people who are good at their individual job get promoted. And then the challenges of people, conflict, feedback, meetings, communication, those are the same. Those are the same no matter what the size of the organization.
Right. Or having to be the person that lets somebody go.
Yes. But so hard the first time you do that.
I'm not doing that. I would never do that.
Yeah. Really, really hard.
Yeah.
Really, really hard. And deciding when you're at that point.
Right. And sometimes there are people that need firing. They just, they're a toxin to the culture of the business. I mean,
and like we said earlier,
that's true.
When you want to be the nice person, that doesn't feel nice.
Right.
But, we coach people. It's like, well, who are you being nice to? Because being nice to everybody else there,
right.
keeping them is not nice to everybody else.
Right. And the company at large,
exactly.
If the product is not what it needs to be. So the big question is, can you teach somebody to be a good leader?
Leadership can be learned.
Have you ever had any failures? Someone like, just need to go back on the
they have to want
assembly
it.
line.
And they have to be, if a person isn't willing to learn, if they don't have a motivation
if they just don't have it in them.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
But I think if somebody earnestly is, willing to be open and coachable and learn, they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And certain people do definitely just have a more charismatic personality. And, certain parts of the leadership are easier for them. But as we've worked with different styles, I'm like, some of you are going to be better at different things. The one who's the take charge leader sometimes has a hard time listening. And so there are things that everybody can be good at naturally in a leadership role.
Yeah. So if there's a person that says, I'm just not a commanding personality, can a quieter, more low-key person still be a good manager?
Absolutely. And we work with those from frontline even to CEOs. We have CEOs that we work with that are quieter, the more you keep your head down, but are fantastic leaders.
Yeah, we were talking before we got started with this about the Leading Waco Women seminar, and Amy Gaston was one of the breakout session leaders, and her area was on for women who feel like they're kind of imposters, that they've maybe been promoted to a position and just have such a, I don't know, just poor self-esteem. I don't know what it is. They're just feeling like they shouldn't be in this position. And of course, Amy was like, yes, you should. You're good. You're fine. It's fine. So how, with women particularly who've been promoted, do you find that to be an issue?
Yes, definitely. And especially, again, I've said we've worked across industries, especially in manufacturing or construction.
Yeah, typically
that are
male
dominated. It can be very, very challenging when you have, I've coached women in the construction space, and it can be really challenging when you're in a male dominated field to, feel like you can come up to the table. And again, construction is an industry where people might say, you've got to shout, you've got to be tough, you've got to be mean. And you don't. You can lead as who you are. So helping, one of the things that we will do in this cohort that we're going to lead is helping people step into their identity as a leader, because we truly believe that each person has a soul stamp of who they are, and you don't have to become someone that you're not in order to be a good leader. We do very often have the stereotypical idea of the hard charging, loud extrovert, and certainly you can be a good leader if you're loud and you forge ahead. But you don't have to be. And so just kind of debunking the idea that I have to be somebody that I'm not. So not true.
Oh, that's a good word. But what about the new manager who feels like they have to have all the answers?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we do often feel like if I'm leading, I have to have the answer. And very often, the best thing you can do is ask a question. And that's one of the things that we will coach people on. You don't ask them a question. And when somebody's trying to, figure out how to do a thing, ask them questions. Well, what do you think? It just kind of drawing out of them will help them grow more than just you saying, oh, well, here's all the answers. So you don't have to have all the answers, but learning how to ask good questions, that is an important skill as a leader.
Yeah, and also sharing the credit.
Yes.
You've heard of situations where the manager took all the credit for an underling's good idea.
Absolutely. You will not gain the support of your team if you do that very long.
No, you won't. They'll figure that out right away. Yeah. So this 6-session course runs from September through December.
Yes.
But then the 90 days of follow-up afterwards. Why is that important?
Again, back to that, the tennis or the piano example of, even after 90 days, they're not going to have mastered these skills. And so we want to, send reminders. We want to have touch points. We'll have, kind of like online meetups where they can converse again or say, hey, I tried this feedback thing again and it flopped again. So, what would you coach me to do differently? So even though we won't be meeting regularly or adding new content, we want them to have touch points where they're just reminded and they can continue to ask questions.
Yeah. So you're limiting this to 20 participants.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure you're going to fill it up. So keeping it small is important. Why?
Because we want to be able to have that engagement. So, if I'm shouting to a class of 50, it's harder for me to learn names. It's harder for the people to engage. It's just, I think we've all been in those classes where we were just one of a gazillion, and it's harder to learn in that environment.
Right, and you can just shrink back into a corner if you're not the
exactly
assertive type, you know.
Yeah,
and that's not a good thing either. So, so a company needs to have several managers to benefit, one that can identify with a promising new leader. And
if they
send
have
that person.
one, and in fact, so when Philip and I do, the program's called Sphere of Influence, and when we have a client that's large enough to have several managers, we'll go in and do it within a company with a whole cohort. But the open enrollments are set up for people who they don't have enough managers to have us come. They might have one, and so it's the perfect setup for a smaller organization that doesn't have even more than one. They just have one that they want to send. And so, I mean, of course, if a company has 2 or 3, they could do that. But it's kind of designed for people who don't need a whole leadership program within their company, but they've got people that need to be leveled up.
Right. And for a business owner or executive listening, what would you say about the value of investing in that new manager before maybe bad habits can develop?
Right. I mean, so just the research shows that, you know, the investment in leaders, you get an immense return on your investment because people stay. People want that. And then, you know, 70% of the engagement of your employees is accounted for by who's leading them. And so, I mean, all of this has become, I think, standard for people to know that people don't leave companies, they leave managers. And so if your managers aren't doing their job, if they're not connecting with their people, if they're not leading well, then you're going to lose your best people. So investing in them, it's that 70% lever of, do I have people who are leading my other people well? And if you don't, then the people at the bottom aren't going to do well, and then they're going to leave.
Okay, so if someone out there says, I know exactly the person who needs this course, so what should they do next?
Yes. So I think we're going to put the MasterMinds website here, so they can go to the mastermindsleadership.com, and there's a banner at the top that says, hey, I'd like to enroll in this program, and they can just click on that banner.
Okay, Sphere of Influence is the name of this.
Sphere of Influence, because we talk about leadership as influence.
Yeah.
Leadership is not just a position of authority.
Right.
And some people want to lead that way. And that's the way people have been taught, like, well, I'm the boss, and so I have the authority. But truly, the currency of leadership is influence. You know, we talk about influencers on social media and all of that. And simply what that means is someone with influence changes the way people think and behave. And that's what good leaders do, is they change the way people think and behave. And they do that through the currency of influence. And that's leading well.
Yeah. Finally, Laura, if somebody's walking into work tomorrow for the first day as a manager, what's your best piece of advice?
My best piece of advice is that leadership is a relationship. And so the best leaders, back to that study, the best leaders develop one-on-one relationships uniquely with each person that they lead, and they draw out the best in them. There's no cookie cutter recipe for this is what a good manager should look like. You need to be who you are, and you need to connect one-on-one with each person that you lead. And that's what good leadership looks like.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this program to Waco, because it's really, Waco is growing.
It's growing so fast.
Businesses are coming in, they're growing, and that means people are moving in the company to different positions. And, we talked a lot about, women in these roles, but this is not just for women.
It's not just for women.
Okay.
No, it's for men and women both.
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
And Waco is growing. Yeah, Waco's growing so fast. And when businesses grow fast, that's the time when managers get promoted who maybe haven't had the training. So Waco definitely needs this. And Waco really deserves a premier leadership cohort like this. And so we're excited to bring what we've been doing in DFW and across the country to Waco. It's going to be fun.
That is wonderful. And again, the website, do you have other social media? I mean, what do you have for folks?
So, yes. So we have a website. And also, this has been going out in the Waco Chamber newsletter.
Okay.
So, again, if someone's like, oh, I forget the website, if every week in August, this has been in the Waco Chamber newsletter. So someone could go there to find out more about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
And they can follow me on LinkedIn as well. So
Okay. Yeah. LinkedIn. And it's Laura,
yeah.
Shero.
Yes. Shero.
So exciting to hear about this. It's just so necessary, so needed.
Yes.
And as we said at the get-go, you want to go into a new position with thoughts that I'm going to be successful at this.
Exactly. And we spend so much of our lives at work, so
That's true.
So our company motto is leaders who lift their people and people who love their work. And so we really feel like this is a part of that, of helping people do well and love their work and create a work environment that's fun for other people to be at.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, Ian.
Stay with us. There's more of the show ahead.
Westfest, presented by West Feeds this Labor Day weekend. Wade Bowen, live at the Sunday Night Shutdown Party with special guests, the Hoosier Brothers and Sonny Salceda. Westfest, just 15 minutes north of Waco.
It's the premier charity event of the year, the 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, presented by Ascension Provident. A fun evening filled with great food and drink, dancing, a spectacular auction, and more. This year's theme is Nashville Nights, Neon Lights, and Bullfights. Get your tickets now, donate, or be a sponsor. Help support the American Cancer Society to find a cure. The 2026 Central Texas Cattle Barons Ball, October 24th at MCC Highlander Ranch. For more information, go to centraltexascattlebaronsball.org.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
We're celebrating the declaration of deals at Allen Samuels in Waco. Right now, get $13,000 off a new Ram 1500 Lone Star, plus 2.9% for 72 months. Cash in on $13,000 off a new Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab, or choose 0% for 36 months, plus no payments for 90 days. Feel secure with America's best full-size truck powertrain 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Allen Samuels.
Come by.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.